Why is it so unbelievably hard to do the things we know we should be doing with our money? So let's just get right into it. Today, we are digging into something that drives so many of us crazy. Well, the answer probably isn't what you think, and it's been hiding in plain sight this whole time. So what is it? What's the big thing holding you back? When we think about financial struggles, we tend to look at all the external stuff. But the real fight, the real battlefield, isn't out there. It's not the rising cost of groceries, even though that really hurts, I know. It's not the shaky economy, and believe it or not, it's not even just about how much you earn. All those things are real pressures, for sure, but they aren't the main event. That's it. Your biggest financial enemy is right between your ears. There is a war going on inside your head between your ancient, survival-driven programming and the bizarre world of modern finance. And if you want to win, you first have to understand the battle you're in. Okay, so how does this enemy in your head actually work? Well, let's start with a feeling that I am willing to bet is very, very familiar to you. It's that cycle, right? You make a solid plan, you're all fired up, but then the urge to just buy the thing right now is overwhelming. And if you've ever felt guilty or weak because of that, you need to hear this. It is not a personal failing. And that right there is the big idea. We have to completely reframe this. For years, we've all been told to just have more willpower, be more disciplined. But that's like trying to stop a river with your bare hands. You've got to understand the current first. And to really get why our brains do this, we need to take a trip back in time. I'm talking way, way back, to look at the software that got installed in our heads thousands and thousands of years ago. Think about it. For our ancestors, finding a berry bush was an immediate reward that meant you lived another day. A 401k was not really on the to-do list. This programming, get the reward now, was a genius survival tool. But today, with one-click shopping, that same wiring gets us into a world of trouble. And this is exactly how that ancient wiring plays out today. You see a limited time-only deal, and your brain's reward system just lights up. It anticipates a win, and when you click buy, you get a little hit of dopamine, that feel-good chemical. That loop literally trains your brain to believe that spending equals pleasure, making it almost impossible to resist next time. All right, so we've got these ancient brains that are obsessed with instant rewards. Let's break down 3 specific mental traps that this wiring creates for us in the modern world. Okay, first up, and this one is the big one. It's called present bias. This is that silent, powerful force behind almost every impulse buy. It's that little voice in your head screaming, I want it now. I mean, just look at this. It shows you the wacky math our brains do. Of course, logically, we know $1,000 in the future is way better than $100 today, but to our impulsive brain, that $100 right now feels more valuable. It's real, it's tangible. And that's why saving for some far-off goal like retirement just feels so abstract and hard. Now, the second trap, oh man, we have all been here. You get a raise, a new job, you finally feel like you can breathe a little. But then a funny thing starts to happen. Slowly, without you even really noticing, your spending just kind of expands to meet your new income. That daily latte goes from a treat to a total necessity. That upgraded streaming plan feels absolutely essential. This is lifestyle creep, and it's just your brain resetting its baseline of what feels normal and comfortable. And here's the real kicker. This whole process puts you on a treadmill. You keep earning more, you keep spending more, but you're just chasing a feeling of satisfaction that always stays just ahead of you. Your normal just keeps getting more expensive. So, as if our own internal wiring wasn't tricky enough, our modern world has thrown a massive external pressure into the mix, a real game changer. Every single time you scroll, you're seeing perfectly curated pictures of somebody else's vacation, their new kitchen, their perfect life. This creates this constant, invisible pressure to keep up, and it makes it nearly impossible to just feel content with your own reality. Okay, so this all sounds pretty bleak, I know. It feels like we're set up to fail. But here's the really optimistic part. The solution is not to just try harder and develop superhuman willpower. No, it's about understanding your brain's programming and then building a system that works with it, instead of constantly fighting against it. You have to accept this as a fundamental law, like gravity. Your brain is an efficiency engine. It is designed to find comfort, and it will always, always take the path of least resistance. It's just what it does. And this is why this next part is so critical. If your brain's default setting is easy and comfortable, then building wealth has to be intentional. It doesn't happen by accident. You can't just rely on motivation, because motivation comes and goes. Willpower is a battery that runs out. So, how do you do it? Look, people who are good at this aren't willpower wizards. They're just better architects. They design systems that protect them from their own worst impulses. They automate their savings so the right thing happens without them thinking about it. They create friction by putting money in accounts that are a pain to get to. They simplify their choices to avoid decision fatigue. They're not fighting their brain, they're just giving it a better path to follow. And that really brings us to the single most important mindset shift you can make. It's all about moving from a place of blame and self-criticism to a place of smart, intentional design. You can get a massive raise. You can read every single budgeting book out there, but if you don't address these deep psychological patterns, you're probably going to find yourself right back in the same spot, just with bigger numbers. The real game is played in your head. And that's really what I want to leave you with. That's the question. Once you get the psychology, you can stop beating yourself up for not having enough discipline, and you can start being an architect. You can start designing a financial life where success is the easy choice, the default setting. So are you going to keep fighting an impossible battle, or are you going to start building a better system?
If you want to understand how money really works, subscribe to Behind the Dollar.